guys, it's Pursuing Bunnies, and we're back with Date War.
And we are going to be doing the true ending.
Yes.
So we're really excited about this. This will probably be pretty short because we have basically done all the responses except for one, which was locked until this point. And as far as we know, actually, there are only 2 answers that matter at all.
Right.
So, once you're on his route, which we are at this point because we saved at a point where we were on his route.
Yeah, I'm not sure the answers in the game mattered much in any of the routes at all. I could be wrong.
There are a couple of answers that matter.
A couple of times, like when you get more information out of this guy, I guess.
Yeah. There has to be a point where it decides whether you're getting the good or bad ending based on what you've answered. So they do matter. It's just that in this particular one, only
Well, I mean, when
2.
you're doing the Never Have I Ever game.
Yeah, that doesn't matter, I don't think.
That's what, that's what I was trying to say. But
maybe at one point there was.
Whoa, that's right. He believed me at first that whatever made people disappear only took girls one at a time. And that he had to keep a hold of me in order to find out where they went. But that was before we knew that this was a different universe and a different time. If the car went through a wormhole, it shouldn't have mattered if Bradley was holding my hand afterwards or not, because we'd already be on the other side. Something here doesn't add up.
There's something very wrong in this house. From the beginning, they've been nice to you, but not me. They don't want me here.
That's something we've seen.
Okay, so
no.
This is the first answer that matters.
And it's no.
Yes, we don't want to tell him, or we don't want to try and force him to leave. Because that causes us to try and run out of the house when all this goes down, apparently.
La 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 la. This still doesn't explain why it reacts differently to you or not me, or why it changes if you're touching me. Doesn't that seem strange to you? He was the one who first suggested that the wormhole might only let in girls, but the wormhole and the force field are completely different things, aren't they?
If we told them, they might want to do tests and poke at it and stuff, but we don't know how it works, and we've already seen this.
Yeah, but it is answering in, I think I was dreaming about Bianca, how it must feel to be her lying there trapped inside your own body, not able to wake up. See, I'm kind of thinking that we had this theory that her and Bianca are somehow, connected.
Like, that they may be, parallel versions of each other, which kind of is awkward when you consider that she and Alvin have a thing. But,
yeah.
Oh well.
Yeah. Our medical understanding of consciousness is incomplete. You can be asleep or even comatose and still be aware of what's around you to some extent. We don't know how much. Raphael and Linz insisted that she couldn't hear us times. They might not know science. And they said that Bianca was not there, and that she was neither alive nor dead, and that they can call her spirit back to her body. Or that they had to call her spirit back to her body. That sounds more like magic than medicine. Less reliable, too. If you were summoning a spirit to a body, how could you be sure you got the right one?
And there's the question. Because apparently, as far as I can tell, it has never gotten the right one.
Well, except for, Bradley's neutral ending or Bradley's good ending. Because because it did say...
It got a piece of his and a piece of hers. It never actually told us that it got her. Like, it didn't really say that she got her spirit back, just that it never really clarified.
It never really clarified, but I'm assuming so if,
she sucked up a piece of Bradley and a piece of Janet.
But it did say that she did return to normal, so maybe because in Nathaniel's bad ending, Janet was sucked into Bianca, and it was her who woke up in Bianca's body. Maybe it's because it got energy from 2 life forces, they couldn't really combine them or something, and it just gave Bianca's consciousness enough power to come back to her.
I'm thinking that her spirit didn't come back. She just had her own memories in her brain or something. I don't know.
Okay.
I think it's weird.
It is weird. I'll give you that.
Things are not being explained, but you know, I don't think there's a good explanation for that since it doesn't happen.
I got a theory, but I'll get into that in the review. There are a lot of scary stories about trying to bring back dead loved ones and getting something horrible in their place. That's even more of a nightmare than what I was dreaming. But why didn't Bradley come wake me up? I must have been there for hours. Okay.
So we're back to this.
Why is Bradley the only person not affected by the force field except when he touches me? Can the force field be somehow connected to the wormhole that's making only girls, disappear from our world? But how can that be? Bradley's sister disappeared 5 years ago, and the others years before that. Some before I was even born. The force fields are a part of this experiment with Bianca that's happening right now.
Maybe not, but we'll see.
Yeah, and Lynn says this has never been done before. So he couldn't have been carrying out the same experiment 5 years ago, unless he's lying. Even then, 5 years before that and before that, surely he would have been too young.
As I said, the risk parameters have not substantially changed, which we've seen.
Yeah.
We get to choose to talk about something that she was trying to remember about Susan.
Yeah.
And of course, I thought it was going to make it. Well, it didn't make it too hard. I thought it was going to let us go straight across there, and it didn't.
Yeah, of course, I think these puzzles are somewhat randomized.
Yeah.
So it's like hit or miss whether or not it's difficult.
Yeah.
And then I stop in my tracks. Susan disappeared 5 years ago. Someone else disappeared 10 years ago. And 15 and 20 and 25. That was the first one Bradley could find records of 25 years ago. 1984 in our world! Gosh! The same time that it is here and now. Don't you think it's strange that your sister disappeared and that was a big mystery and you finally follow her only to land in a completely unrelated mystery?
You think they know something they're not telling us?
No, I'm not sure they know what's really going on. Come on, let's go to the library for a bit. I don't think anyone will be in there.
Okay.
He walks to the library beside me with a puzzled frown controlling his face.
Tell me what you're thinking.
We've both had weird dreams since we've been here, and I've dreamed about being trapped and pulled in and falling, and you've dreamed about me falling too. Just like Susan, the same thing happens to me that happens to her.
Well, you both went through a wormhole.
And we're not the only ones that disappeared. There have been other girls it's been happening for at least 25 years. So we're falling through space and time and we end up here, where it's 25 years in the past. Is that a coincidence too?
I don't understand.
There may not have been any earlier disappearances. Maybe this really started 25 years ago, exactly the same time that it is here. You believed at first that whatever made your sister vanish would only happen to girls, so you had to hold on to me or get left behind, right?
Yeah.
And in this house, there's a mad scientist experiment going on and a force field that works just like you imagined it would. It traps only me except for when you touch me. The force field and the wormhole may be the same thing. The force that pulls people across space and time into this house and keeps them there. And that force field only exists because of Lindsay's experiment right now. What if the first girl who disappeared came here to this exact same place and time just like us? What if they all did?
But there aren't any other girls here except Bianca.
No, but if people are traveling through time, maybe every time someone falls through a hole, it creates an alternate timeline.
I'm sorry, I don't get it.
I'm not sure I do either.
This Bianca thing doesn't have anything to do with traveling to other worlds, so why would it make people come here? And even if it did, why would it happen more than once?
Well, if it makes alternate timelines every time, then what's happening now is probably the same thing that happened to those other times too. Something's going wrong and the force field is collapsing. It's going out of control. Maybe it blows up at the end and then everything resets and it starts over again.
Which may be what Lenz's route was about.
That makes sense. But that still doesn't explain why there's a hole in space-time that people are falling through in the first place. I reach behind my head and adjust my ponytail, trying to think, what does reviving Bianca have to do with wormholes?
At the moment, she is neither alive nor dead, but in a state where she might potentially become either. A situation which will be altered when the procedure is complete.
What happens then?
Her spirit comes back or is lost forever.
Her spirit? Bianca's dead. They're trying to call her spirit back into her body.
Huh?
I thought they were just trying to shock her out of a coma, but that's not the way they described what they were doing. If they're trying to pull her soul into her body, they're pulling us into Bianca, me and the other girls who disappear. Lindsay's experiment tries to restore her life by taking it from someone else, only that it doesn't work, so it all goes wrong, maybe?
You're saying Susan is in there somewhere?
Kind of, but not exact. But I can see the fires of purpose rekindling in his eyes.
We have to stop the experiment.
Maybe, but we don't know. Wait!
Out of the way! What are you doing?
Sorry. He's so fast my legs aren't as long. I'm scrambling to keep up. I burst into lab on his heels, faced with Linz and Raphael at their controls.
Shut it down!
That won't necessarily help.
What's going on?
I think we may be caught in a time loop that resets at the end of the experiment. Makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
Bradley growls and surges forward, only to be caught by Linz's hands.
If you want to retain the use of your limbs, explain yourself. Susan's in there!
No, she's not. If she was in a previous loop and it resets, she's gone, Bradley. Lost in time.
What?
The resistance weakening, Linz shoves Bradley away.
I'm only going to say this one more time. Explain.
It was 25 years before our time when people started disappearing, and your time here is 25 years before our time. Our time has moved forwards, yours hasn't. I think the space inside this force field is caught in a time loop, and when your experiment fails, it starts over again. You're pulling people like me through time and space to fuel your attempt to revive Bianca, my life for hers.
That's not how it works.
It's gone wrong, but you can't see that because you're stuck inside. Bradley is the only external point of reference because he knew about the disappearances before he got here because of his sister.
There has to be a way to break the loop. If Bianca is the key...
Again, he lunges forward to try to reach Bianca's helpless body, and Linz and I grab for him from opposite sides. Bang. What? What? Alvin stands in the doorway, Bradley's gun in his hand.
Oh my gosh.
My gosh! For a moment, I can't even breathe. What have you done?
He threatened my sister.
That is true. He was trying to save his sister. Oh my gosh. Raphael kneels beside Bradley, frightened but unharmed. Nathaniel skids down the stairs into the room, but far too late. He wasn't even supposed to be here. The trap wasn't set for him. He could pass through the force field. He could have run away.
What trap?
The force that's pulling spirits towards Bianca. The reason I'm here and I can't leave. Because it doesn't work. You can't take one life to save another because someone still dies. And so the cycle goes around and around with no way out, and soon enough, someone else will be here to start it over again. There's no happy ending. There's no ending at all. It just goes on forever. There has to be some way out of this. There has to be a better answer. But it's too late. There's no way to save anyone now. What on earth?
What's happening? I think I'm seeing things. No, the life energy that you so roughly scattered is disrupting the etheric imbalance I've spent the last 5 days creating. And you can't stop it? At least we will all die in a suitably interesting manner.
Oh.
No one dies.
It's Bradley.
It's a miracle.
His body still lies on the floor, but somehow, impossibly, his spirit is afire.
I will find a way if I have to break time itself. I want my sister back.
The whole house trembles with every blow of his voice, and strange lights continue to build. He wasn't held within the force field. He was never really a part of the time loop. But now his self, freed from his body at the center of the vortex, is all coming undone. One by one, unreal figures and images blur into my vision. Not just the few Bradley reported missing from our world, but dozens. Copies? Captives from other worlds? More and more filling the room with a thick fog of ghosts, but he's tearing down all the walls. But what will that do? Time is unraveling. The whole world is falling apart. There's a hole in the world in the shape of a soul. We have to save Bianca. It's the only way to stop this.
But how?
I don't know. She needs a soul.
Then I will offer my own.
Oh, poor Raphael.
No! Susan, where are you? Can you hear me?
Hundreds of voices reply with incomprehensible echoes, crying out for help, for comfort, for lost loved ones, all pulling in different directions, fractured time, overlapping chaos. But what if they all wanted the same thing? What if all of us, people, souls, echoes, whatever we are, work together? Nobody has to sacrifice themselves, everyone does. It's too much for any one person to fix. If you give your life to save hers, you'd be dead, and that's no good. But if everybody gives a little, we can all save each other. What's one soul compared to the army we can muster? Bradley, tell everyone, you and Susan and all the others, save Bianca. And the ripples of my command pulse through the broken timelines. I grab the hands of the people near me and bring them together. Linz, Raphael, Nathaniel, even Albin. All of us together.
You want us all to die?
I want us all to live. Don't even think about dying. It's magic, it's faith, it's impossible. It has to work. I've lived too much in these past 5 days to doubt now. Close your eyes and give yourself away. Whoa.
Okay, so, I guess we're about to see what really happens.
Yeah. What happened? I'm outside in the woods. It must be evening. It's not raining. I'm lying on rocks and leaves and mud, trying not to stare at the sun. My head hurts, and that's all I know. Hello? Is anyone there?
This seems familiar. Janet? Oh, there's the difference.
Yeah. You're alive! I clamber to my feet and fling my arms around him, burying my face in his chest. His warm and solid. He is warm and solid to the touch. There's no sign of a wound. What happened? Does he know?
I don't know. I was kind of hoping you did.
You were shot!
I remember that part. Well, at least he remembers that. After that, everything got weird. Where are we? How did we get here?
I don't know. Is this Memphis? One group of trees look pretty much the same as the other to me, but I can't see any sign of Nathaniel's mansion. There's a clearing nearby with a little wooden bench. I'm sure I don't remember seeing that before. Which way is the road? Are we lost? I step up on a rock and peer through the trees, and in the distance I see... Look! There's your car! Just as I say that, my cell phone rings. I hear my cell phone ringing. We must be home. I pick up the phone and look at the caller ID. Mrs. Dalton? I don't know Mrs. Dalton, do I? Brad. Hello?
Hi, Janet. May I speak to my son, please?
But how does...
The timeline has been changed, Cali.
Oh my gosh!
They are apparently, like, together in this timeline.
Okay.
But I'll be the voice on the phone because, well, somebody had to do it.
Yeah. Bradley's mother? How did she get my number? Why is she calling me now? I shake my head and hand over the phone. It's for you. I turn away and give him what privacy I can while I try to make sense of everything. What happened to Bianca and the others? What did we do? Did it work? Bradley's alive and we're home, I think. Or else this is all just a pleasant fantasy I'm having the moment right before dying. But if that's it, then it's too late to worry about it now. Behind me, I hear Bradley switch off the phone and clear his throat.
That was my mother.
I figured.
She wanted to remind me that you and I are supposed to bring a gift for Susan's wedding on Sunday.
Whoa, we fixed it! Woo!
How is that possible?
Slowly, I start to pull it together. There really was a time loop, and it started long before we went missing, or Susan did. But you broke through time to reach the previous loops. Which means all the times started to exist at once, including the very first time that Lynn set up his experiment to save Bianca. And when everyone came together to save Bianca, we saved her. From the very beginning, it filled the hole, so the time loop never happened. Which means we never disappeared through a wormhole, and neither did your sister. She lived a normal life, grew up, and now she's getting married.
Whoa, cool.
Except we have no memory of this.
Yeah, we have no memory of our relationship with him, which apparently has been happening despite the fact that the reason it started was for this.
Yeah.
Okay, so anyway, let's see if we get anything else out of this. What happened to Bianca and everybody?
I don't know. If we saved her, then Bianca should be alright, but... I fished for the present he gave me, the coin on the chain. It's gone, of course. We were never there. So he never made it. Nathaniel, Alvin, Linz, and Raphael, we never met them. They're all gone. They have to live in their own lives in their own world. Or else they already have. They were 25 years in the past compared to us. If the time loop never happened, when they have lived those years, they could have children our age by now. Will they even remember us? He shakes his head slightly, a little hard for me to imagine, too. We were with them just minutes ago, and now everything's different. It never happened. The world is rewritten. Feeling dizzy, I walk over to sit on a nearby bench. It shouldn't make a difference for me, right? My history will be the same. All I've lost is a few days sitting in a house with strange people.
Except apparently your history isn't the same because your phone number was...
Like, Bradley's mom has your phone number and knows who you are, so
which
apparently
means
you've been dating Bradley.
Things have changed.
Yeah.
Wait, if Susan never vanished, then I was never searching for her, right? So how did I get here with you? Thank you, Bradley, for asking the question that we've all been asking.
And how did his mother know he'd be with me? Why would we be alone in a clearing in the woods with a bench built for two? Oh. It looks like we're dating. If that's okay with you.
Okay.
He sits down beside me.
I get to be a hero. I get my sister back, and I get a smart, cute girlfriend, too.
He seems quite pleased with that.
Yeah, okay. That sounds like a happy ending to me.
Yeah, I guess it is.
That looks to be the best artwork so far, and I think it might be because it's mostly light up.
Right.
And the wonderful song.
Yes. Well, that was interesting.
Yeah. So, I mean, there's a part of me that kind of wishes there was a little bit more information.
Yeah,
Like, on, like, what was going on, like, now in their world. Like, if it had given us a little more history on what had changed. And I also would like to know a little bit more information about the things that were going on with Janet and her family, because it seemed like things were weird there. But hey, you down there, knock it off!
what?
Look up so we can see you! Do you know how long it took me to find the right universe?
Oh my gosh!
Is that Alvin?
Cow! Alvin, Lynn's. Okay, that has to be Raphael.
Raphael.
I thought that was a girl. I'm like, who is this?
Oh, poor
girl?
Raphael. And then there's Nathaniel over there and Bianca!
Lynn's? Bianca? It's alright. Everything's going to be alright.
Ending number 1, to the
To
future.
Woo! Whoa! That was cool. So I guess maybe it didn't never happen. They had memory of it.
I mean, I think that in like a sense it never happened, but like in the sense of it physically happening, it didn't. But in the sense of that they were there and it happened type thing, like a bizarre.
Maybe they
the way
remember,
things travel through the worlds type happening. I don't know.
Like, okay, hold on. I've got a theory. I will
Okay, so we
turn
will
the
be
video on.
so we will be getting to that in the next review video, and so we'll see you there.
Bye,
Bye
guys!
guys!